Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all fandoms, welcome to the Ferret and Raccoon podcast, episode 83. I am the Angry Raccoon.
And I am Ace.
And we are back for already, as you can probably tell, another weird podcast. Given certain circumstances we're going to talk about very soon. Yes, I'm back.
Finally back.
Yeah, I'm back, much like Slim Shady. It's been quite a while. It's felt like a while. And I just want to quickly give a massive props and shout out to Ace for doing last podcast all on his own. It was quite the interesting listen and edits for the most part. So thank you, Ace.
It's alright.
I found a lot of the things you said to be quite funny and interesting, particularly going on about how Ready Player One is not looking good.
Yeah, it's got some issues.
Some big time issues, but it's also quite relevant to this podcast as well. And your comments regarding The Incredibles 2 was interesting as well.
Okay.
And as well, not to poke fun or be that kind of guy, but regarding the video of the week, it's Scissor, not SZA.
Oh shit! I was very unsure with that one.
That's fine though. That's an easy mistake.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, things have been pretty interesting over the last fortnight, I think.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting change of weather for the UK, for one.
Big time. For anyone who is unaware, as of literally the end of February to the beginning of March, we've been hit by a massive blizzard slash snowstorm.
And tons of people have had issues with it for obvious reasons, stopping travel or them going to work or school or whatever. Me, I've been having a wonderful time because I absolutely love the cold.
I mean, I enjoy the cold as well. I mean, I've surprisingly enough, I haven't actually caught a cold or, really suffered thanks to it. I mean, I've wrapped up really warm and I've been out a ton, given my job actually requires me to just be outside a lot of the time. But yeah, it's been nice. It's been fantastic for, I think, a lot of children as well to experience such a typical, snow weather type scenery.
Because it didn't happen over the kind of December period, which...
No, not at all.
I always remember as a kid.
Yeah, I think it's only ever happened once in my childhood, and it was very weak snow anyway.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I kind of remember a few, but I don't know how many of those are real and how many I just imagined.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's been nice, and obviously it's kind of got the country in a buzz, because it's been really cold. Pretty severe to some extent as well, but it's also been quite interesting. I mean, I missed 2 days of work because I just couldn't go in.
I managed to take off 2 days of work because of the snow.
Yeah. That was a strange sound.
Yeah, I was very confused. I thought it was a car going by on your end.
No.
Okay.
We probably should mention, in case anyone hasn't figured it out, yeah, we are doing this via Skype.
And this is because of the snow.
Yes, I'm not having anyone go anywhere to risk their lives just to record a podcast.
And considering some of the bus drivers near me, they're kind of crazy, so...
Actively trying to knock people down, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Knock them down, skidder all over the ice, do a somersault.
Yeah, it's been crazy. But yeah, also there's been crazy, because, I mean, I just got back from Japan. So...
Yeah.
So obviously things have been very fast-tracked and kind of crazy for me. Because it's the second week since I've been back, and obviously the first week was just fine, getting back to the normal routine of things, and then obviously hit by snow out of literally nowhere.
Yeah, how was it in Japan?
Japan was really good. It was exactly what I needed, and I had a lot of fun. And a lot of crazy and awesome things just generally happened. I'm not gonna say too much about what I actually did on the podcast, because I do have more than enough footage to make videos about it.
Yeah.
But I'm not to say I'm not gonna say the kinds of things I did. I mean, I did go to some very interesting places I've never been before, returning places. I did some pretty interesting experiences and still some pretty amazing things. Like one thing which you'll probably see in the video, which happened literally on the day we were leaving. We were on the train at about maybe 6 in the morning or so, and literally to the left of where me and Recess were sitting, because I went with Recess, I see three big guys all in kimonos, all with the ponytail hair. They were basically sumo wrestlers.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah, that was awesome to see. And I did a ton of other awesome things as well. Like, see, I don't want to spoil too much. I essentially went to a labyrinth of collectors. And I'm not going to say what exactly that place is. I'll let you guys figure out. But it was literally like a labyrinth that was almost kind of evolving as we went through it. It was rather interesting and bizarre for the most part. And that was... It's a place that's kind of raising in popularity, and we were lucky enough to go there and experience it and film it and see all that kind of stuff. And I also went to a oh dear, well, Ace is basically disconnected. I'll get him back for you in a sec. Okay, and we're back. I got Ace back. Yeah. So Ace, as I was basically saying to everyone, all our adoring audiences who were listening, I essentially went to a labyrinth of collections.
Yeah.
Which was a very interesting experience, and also that I went to an onsen, which is essentially a hot bath place, which was incredibly relaxing. And that's just a few of the highlights of my trip without spoiling too much.
Yeah.
Because we saw and did some crazy things, and there's going to be moments where you're going to be like, what? Hopefully.
No, I really can't wait to hear about it all.
Hopefully. I'm probably... I'll probably let Ace know a bit more than you guys before the video comes out. But the video is definitely coming out this month. That is a guarantee.
I hope everyone looks forward to it, because I am.
Yeah, I mean, I am as well. I'm looking forward to it coming together. And so that's something to definitely look forward to as well. The last thing I kind of want to throw in there is also I've watched a ton of anime over the last 2 weeks. Basically catching up on all the current stuff.
Okay.
And I've been pretty impressed with a lot of the things I've seen. I just want to quickly talk about a few that I actually want to talk about for now, although I'm not going to go into too many details. I'm super happy and impressed with Cardcaptor Sakura Clean Card Hen.
I haven't managed to start this one yet.
It's weird because it's a weird thing because it's really good, but it also has somehow managed to... It is a sequel to the original series, but it feels like nothing's changed.
Oh, interesting.
Which is a good thing. Like, the original cast is back, and it just literally takes place where the original series ended, and it's just continuing.
Wow.
They're not really bothering to really go into the details of the history of what's happened, which might turn a few people off.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine a few people were like, who is this guy and why does he have a split personality disorder, and stuff like that. But it just feels like a true continuation and sequel to the series. The only thing that's really changed is that their phones are now like modern day phones, and that's about it.
Okay.
But that's not, it's nothing to really fault the series on.
Yeah.
And also really surprised and impressed by A Place Further Than the Universe.
Yeah, I remember seeing this one and I was like, it's going to be a Moe show, but I've heard good things, so go on, tell me about it.
It is a Moe show, but it's one of those where I wouldn't necessarily say the characters are too girly or too annoying.
Okay.
And the basic plot of it is that it's about 4 girls who are basically going to go to Antarctica.
Yeah.
And that's basically the general plot of it. But the thing that's really carrying this show is the characters themselves. They are extremely likable, and their chemistry and their friendship just works perfectly.
Sounds pretty good to me.
Like, I've only finished episode 3, and they ain't even in Antarctica yet.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm still enjoying it.
Fair enough.
Because the show's been that entertaining that the setup has been that the setup's been that great. Yeah. So it's a really good. And one other one I want to give a quick shout out to is Violet Evergarden.
Okay, yeah.
That definitely one to watch. I'm not going to say anything else about it.
Because it's on Netflix and I haven't started it yet.
It's worth giving a shot.
Okay.
I'm not actually going to say anything about it other than the feels are probably going to happen.
All right.
But yeah, definitely ones to watch. Anything else you want to chat about regarding the last 2 weeks, Ace?
Yeah. Besides the snow, it's just let me stay in and watch a whole bunch of things and play some games.
Oh, okay.
Go talk about some of those.
Yeah, let's do that.
So a new film from Netflix came out recently, being Mute.
Uh-huh.
And it's by Duncan Jones, who did Moon, Source Code, and Warcraft.
Oh, okay.
So it's got he has a very mixed record so far.
Yeah, one good film.
Yeah, one good, one okay, one not so good.
Guess which one?
But so far, Mute has got like terrible reviews from almost everyone. Everyone seems to hate it, and I like it.
Oh, okay.
Because of
I mean, what is it about? I've never heard of it.
Essentially, it's set in what looks like the kind of cyberpunky stuff where it's all rainy, dark, almost dilapidated. But the main character is Amish, so he doesn't really use technology.
Okay.
But he's also mute because of a childhood accident, and because his family's Amish, he couldn't get surgery to fix his throat so he can talk.
All right.
And his girlfriend gets kind of kidnapped, and he's going on a revenge-like story to find her. But there's a secondary plot of Paul Rudd trying to get papers so him and his daughter can get out of the city.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And it doesn't really use too much sci-fi stuff, so I can't really call it a sci-fi. It's more a thriller. But
okay.
I actually really enjoyed it, despite there not being too much of a deep thing there.
Okay, it seems just more like a personal project for the director.
Yeah, and there's a lot of references to like family in the story, and specifically, it's the only film he's used Bowie songs in, being obviously his dad.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
Exactly. So,
yeah, especially given that he directed Moon as well.
yeah. But I definitely think people should give it a watch, and don't compare it to stuff like Blade Runner, because originally it wasn't supposed to be in that sci-fi looking world. That was kind of added on later.
Oh, okay.
So just look as far as how the story is and what's being said.
Fair enough.
And other than that, I played Borderlands.
Oh yeah.
The first game.
Mm-hmm.
And I did enjoy it. I actually found it quite peaceful and relaxing, weirdly enough.
Yeah, I can understand that, because the online for it doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that I would suggest that 4-player co-op would ruin your experience or make it too chaotic. But
possibly. Or like, when there's duels and all the arena kind of stuff, that isn't more the stuff for me.
Fair enough.
But I did enjoy the game overall. I found it very peaceful to just like sit back and play, just shoot some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, I found there was lots of problems I had, and it kept propping up and up, and it's all nitpicks.
Okay.
And it's annoying. Like, it's just here's nitpick, here's nitpick, here's nitpick, and it's all together. It starts ruining my enjoyment a little, but I still liked the game.
Yeah. It's a good game. If anyone who's listening has ever played Destiny, here's a good game.
Yeah.
Basically, because Destiny ripped off Borderlands, but forgot to take any of the character or charm or interest.
Yeah. Like, I literally played 30 minutes of Destiny and stopped because I couldn't.
And then immediately went to Borderlands.
Yeah, basically. But and I got to play all the DLC. I haven't finished Claptrap's new Robot Revolution, but I'm near the end.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed some of the stuff that they've done over time. Like, they essentially, each DLC has kind of upgraded the game in a way.
Yeah.
So it's like some new enemy types, because those got quite tiring during the main game.
Yes,
throughout
big time.
all of these.
Mm-hmm.
And then better level design, just better kind of gear and stuff like that. And I really liked it by the end, like, a lot.
That's good. You'll probably really like the ending then
Oh,
of the DLC, because it's kind of like a better ending to the game than the actual ending to the game.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, looking forward to Borderlands 2.
I have Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel on PS4 as part of the Handsome Collection.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I haven't started them yet.
Cool. That's good.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I didn't actually do much over the last 2 terms. I only really listened to a few things and watched a few films. The only 2 films I watched, so I'm going to start with a good film, and that's Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Yeah.
Fantastic film.
Okay.
I don't know what the controversy is regarding this film, but it really doesn't matter.
Fair enough.
This film was fantastic. It was near perfect, and I'm surprised not enough people have seen it or are talking about it. I know you have, Ace.
Yeah.
And I understand where your criticisms were coming from, but it didn't really bother me, honestly.
Fair enough.
But yeah, fantastic film. Another film I watched, which this is the bad one, was It 2017.
Oh, okay. You finally got around to it.
Yeah, it was one of those cases of I was sitting on the plane and it was there.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, let me put it this way. They should have just called this film Why.
Alright.
Because nothing in this film makes sense. And
I wouldn't go that far.
It really doesn't, and I'm coming more from the point of view of decisions in terms of the actual film.
Okay.
Every time there was a good moment or a good scene or a good scare, it was immediately ruined by something dumb.
Fair enough.
The perfect example is the opening.
Oh, yeah.
The opening is fantastic until it gets stupid.
Alright.
And that it's kind of like that throughout the whole film. Every now and then, they'll be like, wow, that's a cool scene, and they just ruin it.
Okay.
It's like every time it got predictable to that point where it was like, oh, how are they going to ruin this scene?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, granted, some scenes are just straight up dumb. Like him running at the camera. Like, I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but I hope someone got slapped for that.
It's so funny, though.
It's baffling. It's like... It's hard to tell if they were trying to make it look funny or trying to make it look scary. Because it's not... It's almost neither.
Maybe it's a little from column A and a little from column B.
I think it's a little too much from one column and a little less from the other.
Fair enough.
But yeah, this film wasn't good. The sequel's going to be garbage because they're not going to have good actors in it. Simply put, they can't.
Okay.
But yeah, waste of time, personally.
Fair enough.
But
I think I was more positive on it than you are.
I think you were, yeah. But speaking of something that actually is quite scary, surprisingly, more scary than It, anyway, and that's MGMT's new album, Little Dark Age.
Oh, okay.
Which I've actually had on repeat since it released. And this is a pretty damn good album that I would definitely say you can definitely consider spooky, and not in the sense of it's trying to be like scary or disturbing. There are like quite disturbing elements in the album itself, and there are like more upbeat moments in it, but it's definitely a very interesting album. It also kind of delves more into like life and getting over things in life and dealing with things in life as well.
Yeah.
It is interesting. Like, a few highlights that come from the album are definitely songs like Time Spent Looking at My Phone.
Okay.
Which is essentially a song about mobile phone culture and how people are so addicted to looking at the screen or kind of distracting themselves from other things and the song is essentially saying, like, you know, if you keep looking at your screen, you're not going to be able to do the things you want to do or even just do anything, simply put. You know, and other interesting songs as well, like Me and Michael, which is essentially about friendship, a very strong friendship, also to be described as being solid as they come. And some very odd and questionable songs, like the song James, which sounds like an Ariel Pink song.
Oh,
big
weird.
Time. Yeah, it's a very odd song. I that's the only song I don't actually know what it's about.
Okay.
All I really know is that it's kind of about having this friend called James round, and you know the constant kind of saying, I can't even remember the line, but yeah, basically kind of repeating the sense of, oh, you can come round my house and we can both say who's laughing now. It's yeah, I haven't quite 100% figured it out, but and even the album has a general like disturbing kind of weird vibe about it. Even the song When You Die, which is kind of this pessimistic, evil, angry song, even to the lead singer kind of starting it basically saying, I'm not that nice, I'm evil, is like, don't call me nice, you know. And basically saying things like, I'm gonna eat your heart out, and stuff like that. And the song essentially being about this nasty person and how everyone's gonna react when they die, in the sense that they're gonna be laughing at him. And even and although some people might not agree, the last song on the album is possibly the spookiest and the weirdest for me. It's a song called Hand It Over.
Okay.
And this song ends the album. It's very dreamy and spacey. And from what I've gathered, the song seems to be about MGMT possibly not being around anymore, or kind of, being done with music, or literally handing it over in some sense.
Interesting.
So it's very odd and it would be very spooky if they never make music ever again.
Yes, if they just leave it with that.
Yeah, it'd be very concerning. But yeah, it has this weird kind of chorus, harmonious like chorus, where it's literally them saying, we'll do this, and having that hand it over, chorus keep popping up every now and then. It's, rather creepy to some extent, I would say.
Yeah, no, that sounds pretty damn awesome.
It is. It's probably my, as of right now, my favorite album of the year.
Okay.
I only have like 4 favorite albums so far, so things could easily change. Yeah, really liking it. I would honestly recommend listening to it if you have the time. It's not very long. It's about 45 minutes long, 10 tracks. Most of the songs have been released, so I would give it a listen, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, definitely. So those are the kinds of things I've been up to. I think we should definitely go into some of our topics and news stuff, which is going to be very short because everything other than these things were more interesting. Well, less interesting than our actual lives, because snow in England is a bigger deal than the first trailer we're about to talk to be fair.
Yeah, so the first trailer being Fahrenheit 451, based off of the Ray Bradbury book that I remember reading a lot during college for some reason.
Or repeatedly?
Yeah, a few times.
Okay.
I wasn't sure why. I think I was trying to get out of doing work.
Okay.
But yeah. So essentially starring Michael Shannon, Michael B. Jordan, who I both love, and it looks like they're trying to turn it more action-y, at least as far as the trailer goes.
Yeah, the trailer was a bit, I think it's going to be very misleading.
Yeah.
Honestly, because it was weird, because, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, Ace, I have absolutely no interest in this trailer. The main reason I put it here was because I wanted to talk about everything other than it. But it looks interesting. I think it's a bit too dark. And I understand why it's dark, is because they want to show off the cool flamethrower shots.
Yeah, and fire is a very big point, hence, obviously, the title. Fahrenheit 451 is the temperature paper burns at.
Mm-hmm.
Which, the whole book itself is about how, basically how anti-intellectualism leads to authoritarianism.
Mm-hmm.
Which a lot of people still attribute now, because the author was right-wing, but definitely author, so I'd definitely say the plot itself is an interesting subject, but whether the film does it justice, I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it will. I think they're a little bit more concerned with modernizing it more than actually doing the source material justice.
Yeah.
If you...
Considering they have like a lot of all the hologrammy stuff, and it's trying to...
Yeah, that was just so forced.
Yeah, I mean, the story works best when it's set, like, I say, like, 80s fake future kind of thing, or 70s future.
Yeah, or even just like, and I don't know why more people don't do this, just using the future of her.
Yeah, exactly. A realistic future, one that feels right.
Yeah, I think this would have worked much better, and I think people would have been a bit, people might be able to take the series a little bit more seriously if they go, oh man, this could actually happen. What if this actually happened?
Yeah.
I mean, to kind of go on what I was hinting at before, I think the trailer itself, out of the actual contents of what's actually in it, was more interesting because this trailer was, funny enough, released during book week or book day.
Oh, really?
Yes. So.
Wow. Interesting.
Haha, very funny.
Yeah.
And also, I would like to imagine that the producer and the director was wiping away the sweat once Black Panther came out.
Yeah.
Because if Black Panther bombed, we would not be talking about Fahrenheit 451, simply put.
Yeah.
They would have cancelled that so quick. Soon as the only good thing I really hear about Black Panther is Michael B. Jordan.
He is one of my favourite parts. He was absolutely amazing.
Well, he's a great actor. So I'm honestly not surprised about that. But yeah, I that's what I was fascinated about, because I'm not going to watch the show. It's probably not going to be very good. The only other thing I do like is that Michael B. Jordan's character is like he's most likely a pyromaniac, which could be an interesting concept. He seems to really like fire. So
that's me. I can't tell if he's going to be the main character, like in the book. Who? Do you mind if I do a little spoiler of the book?
I wouldn't, only because I'm sure some people are going to watch this.
Yeah. Well, if so, and that dialogue, because I can't remember that in the book, but I haven't read that since I was 18-ish. Yeah. That doesn't sound like the character from the book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe they just haven't been shown. Maybe we can just attribute this to being the Michael B. Jordan cut of the trailer.
That could be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say one thing. I thought I saw it, but I'm not sure. But I want to know what their design for the robot dog looks like.
Okay. I honestly don't remember that.
Well, I thought I saw a little shadow of it, but robot dog in the book it sounded horrifying, and the closest thing I've seen that looks like it was described in the book is the Panzer Hunds in Wolfenstein games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Should be interesting. Maybe they're just cute little Dalmatians.
That would be cool. Just hug them.
Yeah, and then run.
Yeah, as they try to inject your neck.
Oh boy. But yeah, I really don't care too much about this, but it should be interesting. I mean, there's been a massive slew of what if stories.
Yeah.
And I'm getting pretty tired of them.
No, I get you.
But, who knows about this one. Moving on to our next trailer is a trailer I've been anticipating for a while, and it's also a film that has too long of a title, and that is Ralph Breaks the Internet, Wreck-It Ralph 2. They should just call it Ralph Breaks the Internet. I don't know why they have to put the 2 there, or whatever. I've already talked about this. So we finally got the trailer for Wreck-It Ralph 2, and it was weird.
Yeah, I can't say that I liked the trailer much.
Granted, it didn't really spoil much, but then again, you probably already know what's going to happen in this film just from reading the title. I mean, they're not really hiding anything. But I mean, it's nice to see the two main characters from Wreck-It Ralph back again, but I think my main issue with the trailer is an issue I've had with a lot of films where it's just reference bait.
Okay.
It's the same with the Emoji film and Ready Player One.
Yeah.
And it's going to be with this film where it's just like, you know this, you remember this is something you know. And that's unfortunately the situation I think is going to be with this film. I think it's going to rely too much on product placement than an actual interesting story.
Yeah.
Like, granted, I mean, yes, it makes sense. If they went about creating a bunch of fake sites and things, it would be incredibly distracting. But still, it seems very cold, this film.
Yeah, and the first one I really liked because it was obviously an homage to how video games have developed over time.
Yeah.
But it also did have references. But at least it was relevant to that. I don't get why they're making it the internet. It's just...
I think their guess is, I think someone must be under the impression that it's the next step in evolution for an arcade, when that's not the case.
No.
Like, yes, internet does play a huge part in the way games are developed and the way we consume and play games nowadays, but what I would have thought the sequel would have been was that, and this might sound stupid, was that Ralph literally becomes DLC.
Yeah, it's something like that.
That was my initial thought, where he's... And although I've just, ratted on, like, product placement, he's literally on, like, the PSN network.
Yeah, or the Xbox Live.
Yeah, just literally just disrupting all the modern games, and all the modern games are like, oh no, who's this idiot, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels weird. I mean, the one scene at the end, which went on for a bit too long with, like, the iPad game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I knew what the end joke was going to be. I was like, okay, this rabbit's going to blow up or die or something like that. But it did get me when the child just started screaming. That was actually quite funny.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And plus, the rabbit was just cute, so...
Yeah, the rabbit was cute, and I think I'll have to send you this tweet afterwards. Someone put a post with a thank goodness kind of gif where it was like, oh, I just remembered that when you die in your own game, you respawn, so the rabbit should be fine.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
To which the director did confirm the rabbit did regenerate.
Phew.
Although a lot of people said that child is probably scarred for life.
Oh, definitely.
Like,
gonna have therapy.
Big time. Like, baby Moana is, she's scarred for life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm still looking forward to it. I'm still put off by all the product placement and stuff like that. I mean, as you might not already know, pretty much every Disney princess is in this film.
Yeah, which was weird as hell to find out.
Yeah, it's kind of like... I might even... This might be one of the only films in history to have one of the biggest casts.
Yeah.
It could be one of those films, but I really don't know. I mean, I'm hoping for good news. I'm hoping that they don't do what the Emoji film did and go, man, let's go to IMDb and let's spend 3 minutes there talking about how IMDb is a website about film reviews. And now let's go and look at Google, and Google is a search engine that lets you search for everything. I don't want that.
I thought it was going to do that because literally when they go to the internet, you can see IMDb almost center frame, and it's like, oh no.
Like, if everything is just there as an image, that's fine.
Yeah, sure. That's okay.
But like I just said, I don't want it to be like, let's go to YouTube, and let's spend 5 minutes in YouTube, and wow.
A cat joke with eBay, so they're probably going to do a cat video joke with YouTube.
Yeah, much like the Emoji Movie did.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't be the Emoji Movie, Disney. Disney is much smarter than that, but still, they haven't had a good... Ever since Zootopia, they haven't had a good year.
No, not really. I'm trying to think. Moana was fine.
Moana was enjoyable. Coco was, I haven't seen it.
I thought it was okay.
But they haven't had anything that's really stuck with people since Zootopia.
Yeah.
Zootopia is legit a good film that has stuck with people, and even watching it the other day, I was like, man, this film looks amazing.
Yeah, no, the visuals in that are great, and I still love the, all the world building for the animals, just how they get around the city.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff's great.
Yeah, that was years of research.
Yeah.
With Wreck-It Ralph 2, I'm kind of just like, I'm really worried here, guys.
Wait until they get on light cycles.
Oh no. Oh, it's because Disney owns Tron.
Exactly.
But don't know what to do with Tron. Like
Just Cycle and Wreck-It Ralph.
Like, and that's the thing as well. If Ready Player One and the War Games TV show thing does well, you know damn well they're gonna reboot Tron.
Probably.
They will reboot Tron.
Yeah.
Because Tron Legacy was like confusing as hell. Like,
that's the thing. I watched it recently. The only thing I like is I like that visual style of the black with the glowy, and that's basically it.
And Daft Punk.
Oh yeah, Daft Punk.
Daft Punk were like the highlight because they did the soundtrack and they got to debut in the film.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit upset about this new trend we're going towards. Hollywood just won't admit that they're bad.
It's consumer culture. It's a problem.
Big time. Alright, let's move on to our final trailer, which I believe you have, which I'm expecting some anger from you. But I don't know.
I'd say less anger, more, oh no. But this is Pokemon the movie, Everyone's Story, which is the 21st Pokemon film. And it's essentially a kind of reboot retelling of the Orange League from the animated series, and I believe the second movie, Pokemon 2000, which I didn't care much for that film, and the Orange League was just okay. There's very little in here other than there's a few new character designs, which I thought were okay. And yeah, I have very little to say. I didn't like the first reboot film much. I don't think I'll like this much.
That was I Choose You, yeah?
Yeah, Pokemon I Choose You.
I'm actually really interested in this film.
Okay.
I like where they're going with it. I like the fact that we have a bunch of characters that are hopefully going to be quite different, possibly going on an adventure, a little bit of rivalry, a little bit of friendship there. And they're all quite distinct as well. I mean, I'm particularly interested in the old lady who doesn't seem to like Pokemon.
Yeah, no, that's actually a cool idea. And she looked a bit like Agatha.
Yes, I knew you were going to bring that up. Maybe it is Agatha. I don't know. Maybe it's her sister.
If it is Agatha, I'll be fine, because she needs more screen time, because she was a good character in the anime.
Big time, yeah. I'm interested, because it's a good take, I think, on telling a Pokemon story, because everyone does have their own experiences and their journeys, and yeah, Ash is there, at least I think it's Ash, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the concept. I was a bit weirded out by that girl wearing makeup when she's like 12, but other than that, it looks like it could be good. I'm hoping it's going to be good. Pokemon's having a bit of a rough spell right now.
Yeah, it's not the best. I've heard the Sun and Moon anime's alright though, but I haven't tried it.
No, the Sun and Anime Moon is like really enjoyable.
Okay.
It's doing it does feel like the original Indigo series in a lot of respects, in that it's just really silly, really fun, but gets serious, and it's all about the adventure and literally being the best.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's actually, that's actually worth a watch for any Pokemon fans who's just looking for a bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping so. I mean, yeah, like I said, Pokemon's in a weird place right now, and we're big Pokemon fans, and we don't like that.
Yeah. So, it needs refreshing.
Yes, and hope maybe this will be a nice refresh. Because compared to all the other films, they haven't done anything like this. No,
not really. I mean,
elements of films have had characters popping up and all this and all that. But
I think it's why I like the first Pokemon film and the third one so much, because they do have these other random characters popping up, but the focus is still on Ash.
Yeah, and that's what this film is implying. It's implying that obviously we're going to get a bit of time with these other characters, and then Ash is going to be like, man, we've got to catch Lugia.
Yeah.
Not that Ash talks like that, but
sometimes he does.
Sometimes he does. In the more questionable episodes, he does.
Yeah.
In the dub I did, he talks like that.
Oh, the good dub. 5 Kids.
Yeah. Yeah, I voiced some characters for 4 Kids a while back.
I think we all did.
Yes, everyone did. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I've got my eye on it.
I hope it's better than the Pokemon the movie I Choose You.
I think it will be. I did like that film, but I'm not going to say like it was groundbreaking or the best thing I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, I think it will be. There definitely seems to be a lot more original focus going into this film.
Okay.
And also we haven't seen any new Pokemon in this trailer neither.
Yeah, it looks very of its time, which I'm happy about.
Which is great. It has like a classic feel. So this, it's worth keeping your eye on, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much going to kind of wrap up this podcast. But first, we got the video of the episode to do with, and I decided to pick a video that is definitely giving a shout out to the smaller guys, as to speak of. There was I don't know what's going on, but there's a ton of music being released right now, and it's all pretty good so far. A lot of my favorite bands have come back, which is great. And so the video of the episode is going to be FLOWERTRUCK with Enough for Now, which is a great little song that basically, when it's that's good enough. I think I'm going to leave that. And that's basically the point of the video and the song. And it's got it's a really nice summer kind of poppy tune, and I really like it. But yeah, anything else you want to add to this podcast, Ace?
Not that I can think of, no.
Okay, fair enough. I would say, hopefully, I know this has obviously been a weird sounding and probably a weirdly delivered podcast, but hopefully things should return to normal for podcast 84. We are currently going through some changes on the channel, so things will change, and you probably see that. So hopefully you guys will stick around for them. Subscribe to this channel if you want to hear more from the podcast or more from whatever is being uploaded on said channel. Ace, how can people find you on the internet? If I was Ralph and I was literally breaking the internet, where would I be able to destroy your stuff?
Well, to destroy my stuff, it's actually a correction. I actually didn't realise I had misspelled it. I think I was drunk when I typed up the name. So it's at Ace Enigma, not Ace Enigma.
Oh, okay.
I have so many different things spelled differently, but it's a capital ACE, capital ENGIMA.
Okay, and that'll definitely be in the description and the download link of the podcast. If you want to follow me, you can obviously follow me at The Angry Raccoon, just one C in the raccoon. And yeah, you can come chat to me about things if you want to do so. Also, if you want to speak to us directly via the Ferret Raccoon podcast, you can do so via the email raccoonplusfriends.gmail.com. Yeah, so hopefully the snow will stop.
Yeah.
Hopefully it will melt. Because we got things to do. And so what was that?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. And we'll hopefully see you on the next podcast. I was the Angry Raccoon.
I'm Ace.
And yeah, we'll I can't even speak, excuse me. We'll catch you later.